Hey, Rachel, what's up?
Hi, Dr. John.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Sounds like I'm doing better than you. I'm doing great. Doing good. What's up?
So I'm just going to get right into my question. How do I end my engagement the right way while I'm living in his home, in his house?
Ooh. I think you need to define what right way means. If you mean conflict-free and fight-free and everybody acts like adults and it's all cool,
Yeah.
that doesn't exist.
Oh, man.
So probably you're searching for, how do I end my engagement with integrity where I honor and respect him, I honor and respect myself, and whatever happens on the back end, I can still look myself in the mirror and know I did the right thing.
Exactly.
Tell me about it. What happened with your engagement?
For lack of time, it's just we're not as compatible as we thought we were. We've been having a lot of issues and we're just not as compatible as we thought. We've been together for 3 years, engaged for 1, and it's just not there despite all of our efforts. I know he's trying hard. I've been trying hard, but it's just gotten to the point that I love him enough to know that I need to step out of the way and I need him to step out of my way, and we need to find our next path because this isn't feeling right. And it's something that, I've taken a lot of time and, I am in therapy and It's been something that, has unraveled. But the issue becomes I'm just a very forward person. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and who I'm with right now just isn't very emotionally intelligent. And I'm nervous for my safety because there is a possibility of him becoming very emotional and becoming very emotionally charged. And I mean, he could very well try to kick me out in that moment. And I'm not prepared for that. And I don't know how to prepare for that, or if that's not how I should go about it. And I've had suggestions of just moving, like just one day having a moving company come and just getting out.
There's a lot here. I've got some questions like that
Yeah, sure.
About the relationship itself, but I'm going to put those aside because that's not why you're calling me, okay? You're calling me about how to end this thing, and there's a couple of just guiding principles I live by. One of them is I only speak when I think I can be heard.
Yeah.
I don't speak so I can have said something in a particular moment. So a lot of grief I get, why didn't I comment on this issue or that political issue? I've done that my whole life because it's of no value. I only want to speak if someone can hear me. So I'm thinking back to when me and my wife sat across the table from each other. And by the way, we've done this a couple of times, but there was one significant time. And we both framed it up in this way. We need to talk about our marriage. There's going to be no fighting, no screaming, no yelling, no hysterics. And that was mostly for me because I'm pretty dramatic. We got to sit down and have an adult conversation. Are we going to stay married? And so I trust her and she trusted me that we could hear that prequel so that we could get down to the actual conversation that needed to happen. And so if you could imagine, I imagine you wouldn't be calling me if you had the kind of relationship with him where you could say, hey, we need to have a hard conversation about our future. I need you to clear this evening because I need to lay it all out on the table. The fact that you can't do that tells me that's probably not an option for you. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. When you say you're concerned for your safety, I am going to go to physical harm, not to he's going to say mean things. Are you concerned for your physical safety?
Yes, there has been threats made when he gets angry, such as if you ever break up with me, I'll shoot you. I'll shoot you in the head. He has said that to me. Okay. So it hasn't been recent. That was probably like a year ago, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But he's that kind of person where like it's really going to depend on his emotions that day. Like, and he's been feeling really depressed lately. And it's, we do have a gun in the house. So yeah, safety is a concern.
Yeah. So if you're my sister, if you're my friend, or if you're one of my former students, I would treat that as a active live threat. And what would that mean? That would mean I would get the police involved. That means I would have I'd have a group of people, if possible, with me when I move out. I would suggest this guy's threatened violence in the past, and the specificity with which the violence was threatened. It's not just like he said, dude, if you ever move out, you don't even want to know what happens. No, he told you exactly what happened. I will shoot you in the head with the gun we have in that drawer over there. Right? So I'm looking at what's the specificity? Is there a time? Is there a date? He's given you that, right? And so I would treat that as though it is live. And now, since he put that into the universe, it becomes his responsibility to prove otherwise. Meaning, if he shows up and he says, I would never do that, I was totally playing, that's his story that's his job to prove or unprove that. Okay? But I would get your therapist will have local resources there, but I would talk to somebody about getting a crew of people that would go in with you. And it might be the sheriff that comes in or some sort of officer that comes in to be with you when you move out. And worst case scenario, you have to hire a security, like by the hour, hire security people that can come in with you while you move. And it would probably be best to move when he's not there.
And that's the other wrench in this is like right now he's working, like his schedule is like dependent on the day. Like sometimes it's a morning shift, sometimes it's a night shift. Yeah. It all depends on like what his work needs. So it's been really hard to try and plan.
Yeah. And again, my bent is to not ever be secret about something, but to go kicking through the front door. Meaning, show up at Tuesday at 8:00 and there's 3 officers outside and you tell him, I'm moving out. And because you threatened to shoot me in the head with the gun that's over there, I brought these officers, I'm moving my stuff, and I'm ending our relationship. I hate to do it like that.
Me too.
But this sounds tragically unsafe for you.
Yeah.
How long has it been this unsafe? Do what, Leigh?
I'm struggling with like how it has to be that way because I feel like I'm betraying him in a sense because I'm not.
He betrayed you and he said, if you don't do something that I want you to do, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
That's the betrayal. And you've been making peace with that ever since. Or you've been living in the shadow of that. That's a better way to say that. You've been living in that shadow ever since.
Yeah.
How long have you been terrified to be in your own home?
I'm not terrified because I've been worse. And it's all been just like verbal. There's never been anything physical. But there's emotional and verbal abuse there. Okay. Which is, why I know it needs to end. It's just not right for us.
Yeah.
It's just a sense of like just catching him off guard and like trying to be prepared for that.
I'm thinking, you know him better than I do. I'm also thinking sometimes people act wildly irrational when they're caught off guard versus like, hey, this is coming.
Yeah.
Is there something to be said for to call him and prep him or to give him, as you're walking out the door on an evening, say, we need to talk. I'm ending this engagement. I'm breaking up with you. I'm moving out. I've got a new place. At 8:00 tomorrow morning, I'll be here with 3 officers in a moving company and we're getting my stuff and we're going to go.
Yeah, that's an option.
I mean, would he chase you out the door and lock the door? And I mean, because if that's the case, then because I can't tell. And again, this is hard on the phone. I can't tell. You're unsafe enough that he's threatened your life, and yet you're safe enough. He's never done anything. I've stayed there for another year. Everything's fine. He's just kind of fragile right now. So I don't really have a good sense of it. You have a better sense than I do.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue with it. Is like you would think I would have a better sense of it, but he's unpredictable.
Okay. Then go as though this threat is live.
Yeah. Okay.
As this threat is live. There's and I caught a hint of this at the beginning, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Your days of living there have ended. They're over. So the idea that y'all can break up and you can just stay in this place, that's not tenable, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have another place to live?
I do. My parents are like aware of me trying to make this plan and they've offered me to stay with them in the interim.
What do you have there that is so important that you get out?
I mean, my whole life's here.
What does that mean?
Like everything I've accrued over the past 10 years, like everything's here. But as far as like if it were to burn down, things I would regret, like not grabbing, like I could get together like pictures and meaningful things that I don't think you would miss.
That's a broader question: is can we get the important things out slowly, yet quickly? Pictures, jewelry, things like that that are of substantive value. And if I'm you, I'm going to leave the couch.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably take my clothes. That kind of, I mean, so I don't know what you have versus what's his. And it's not uncommon for there to be the police pretty reticent because they're going to show up and he's going to say, hey, that's mine. You can't take that. We bought that together. And they're not going to get involved in that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about that because I don't plan on taking much. I'm fine with leaving the furniture.
Okay. It wasn't supposed to be like that, was it?
No.
I'm sorry.
No. That's unfortunate. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
You're worth more than this.
Thank you. Yeah. It's taken a while to figure that out, but
I know.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping I can get to this next step here successfully and safely.
I want you to please take my wisdom here that I want you to treat this as though it is live.
Okay.
As though if you try to move out, he will make an attempt on your life, and I want you to react accordingly. With the police and your therapist in town should be able to guide you through that to the proper resources there. Okay. And I know you've been through a lot in your life, been through worse. I get that. But I think you've been scared going home for a long time. There is a disorientation when you keep going to your house and you never know who you're going to get when you get there. I'm sorry. But I'm proud of you for moving towards peace. It's time to go ASAP.